Utah. It's an online class. I'm taking it online. The classes have been really great. They've sent my books and everything. I really enjoy it. It's been really good. But I am not that far along. I started July 23rd and it's now August 6th. For a few reasons, I'm not that far along. One being that I'm a mom and a wife first and foremost, and so my life is busy and hectic, and I don't want to listen and take the classes unless I'm fully engaged because I don't want to miss anything. So I've been doing it early in the morning and then at night, so when my family's in bed and they don't need me. And then second of all, we've been out of town a lot this summer. Actually, this entire 2020 year, we've been out of town a lot, which has been really nice. So we were out of town. And also I've been retaking the classes. So I will watch a class, I will, go over the questions, because each class, it'll be like a 10 or 12-minute class usually, and then afterwards you have a couple question exam, and then after that whole chapter, you will have a bigger exam to take just to make sure you know what you're doing. And then, so I've been doing the classes, but I've been redoing the classes. Like I will watch a class and then I'll take it again just to make sure that I'm fully grasping all of the concepts. I don't want to do this unless I'm going to put my all into it and give it 100% and make sure I know this stuff forwards and backwards. So I'm not far along, but I'm getting there, and I've been passing my exams, and I've been, going through the concepts in my head. So it's a start, and it's exciting, and it's nerve-wracking all at the same time, but it's going really well. As I started taking my classes, I've become more confident and have actually really enjoyed it. And so I thought I'd just kind of fill you in with how it's going, and if anyone else is looking to do the same, you can kind of follow along with me and go along with me. So I will update you guys with how that's going and kind of what I'm learning a little bit and going through. I had just received a text from someone from Keller Williams that wants to meet with me. So it's super early to be meeting with brokers, I think. I don't know. But I'm so excited, and it's given me some confidence and like a lot of excitement. So I meet with her on August 15th, and so that's just a little update. All right, guess where I am at? It is, what day is it? August 18th. And I am about to have that meeting with the woman from Keller Williams. I know I had said that just a few seconds ago for you guys. And I'm super nervous. I don't know. It's been a long time since I don't think this is an interview. I think this is just kind of them to see if they would be willing to work with me and kind of show me a little bit of what it would be like to work there. I'm assuming. I really have no idea. And so I've never had this kind of a process, or at least not in a long time. So I'm really nervous. I'm about 15 minutes early before I'm supposed to go in there. I don't know what's going to be asked. I don't know what I'm supposed to say necessarily. And so I'm just going to be myself and try not to be nervous. Is that even possible? Alright, so I'll keep you posted with how it goes. Okay, I'm out, and that was so much different than I expected it to be, but in a good way. I was in there an hour, and so I met with her. She had, a complete portfolio for me to look at, and with prices of everything, and so it was with Keller Williams, by the way, and she just had so much information for me and just was able to knock it out of the park. I didn't even have to ask hardly any questions at all. They have so many platforms as far as training and extra classes and kind of mentors to kind of help you along. Their online system is incredible. I was shocked by that. I'm just completely blown away. And I've had now 3 other brokers that have reached out to me. I just had somebody else text me about meeting with them, and she had recommended going ahead and interviewing with other brokers to kind of see what would be the best fit for me. And so I plan to do that, but I really am impressed. That's an update. I am very motivated, even more so now, to kind of get through my classes and my tests, just get this ball rolling. So that was good. There's just so much more than I expected, just so much more information and such more of a process as well, but it's all good things. So yeah, it's an update.
as a collateral instrument. The deed of trust is more common. A lot of times we would use a judicial foreclosure if there's a dispute process of who really owns banks that are trying to say that they're the ones that should receive that property, or they're the ones that have that have the right to the collateral on that.
So it's been a while since I've updated on how my real estate classes are going. I'm still taking them. I'm over halfway done, a little over halfway done. I've been trying to do 4 to 6 credits a day to just try to get through my classes. I was taking my classes and then I would retake the classes to try to memorize all the information. But from what I've been seeing on the Stringham Facebook page, a lot of people have recommended to just go through your classes, through your credits and your hours, get those hours done, and then to take the exam prep. I think they call it Prep XL now, or maybe it's exam prep, one of the two. They changed the name recently. So to do the exam prep and to just keep taking those practice tests and then reviewing what you've missed and then study up on what you've missed. And so I'm going to do that instead. Brandon and I have made it so that we have a schedule that from like 1 to 5 every single day, he takes care of the kids and then I work on my real estate stuff. And that has helped me big time. And we've also created an office so that we kind of have our own designated space that we can have the door locked and some privacy and quiet time, and everything we need all laid out there that the kids cannot get into, and that has helped big time. Having a specific time during the day that I can go in and take a break from everything and focus on my lesson is a big deal, because I was trying to do it first thing in the morning and late at night before the kids wake up and after the kids go to bed, and that just wasn't working very well. I was still getting interrupted by kids. I just was too tired, and so this has helped a lot. And I really would like to try to take my tests like the very beginning of October, like maybe October 1st or 2nd. That is my goal. And so I'm thinking that in the next week or two, week and a half, I can finish my credits, and then that would give me a couple of weeks to do the Prep XL or the exam prep. And so fingers crossed that I can do that and get it done. So it's going well. Hey, real estate update. It is September 14th. And I have done 104 hours and I have 16 more hours to go. I've done all the classes and right now it's just basically review and practice tests. And so it's really awkward. Somebody parked next to me. So I'm gonna stop for a second. So I just met with Berkshire Hathaway and they were great. I was really impressed and I liked them a lot. Super friendly and seemed like they really have a really great community there, and were very, family oriented, and that was really nice. I feel like they had things that Keller Williams didn't have, and I kind of got the impression that maybe Keller Williams has more independence, I guess, if you work for them. Like, you're a little more independent, whereas Berkshire, you kind of have a little bit more, like, you can, I don't know, they just gave me that kind of impression, and not necessarily in a bad way at all. I think they both offer great things, and they both have, they just both have a lot to offer, and that's really great. I really was just planning on going with Keller Williams. That was my intent. And right now, I kind of am leaning toward Berkshire Hathaway now. So, just a lot to think about and process. I'm hoping to take my test in about 2 weeks, and we'll go from there. So it's all good. It's very intimidating. I am a little worried because I've had a couple of people tell me that when they first started in real estate that they didn't see their family for a while, for like the first year or so of getting it started, and that's really concerning to me because my kids are still young. So it's I'm a little worried about it, but I'm going to ask a friend of mine that's a realtor and kind of ask her why it is that people don't see their family very often for the beginning. Because I understand you'll be busy and there's a lot to do to market yourself, and you're showing homes and things like that, but I guess I'm just naive about it, and I just don't know what is it exactly that keeps people away from their families. Showing homes and things like that. That's what else would there be? I don't understand. And so Yeah, that's always hard to hear as a mom when you're starting a job, is that you're going to be taken away from your kids a lot. And so, I don't know. I'm just gonna kind of pick my friend's brain and kind of see, but I did hear from both companies, from both Keller Williams and Berkshire Hathaway, that they did say, you know, your testing is all stuff that you're not necessarily going to use in the field. It's all stuff like your brokerage needs to know, but you have to know it legally. And it makes sense. You need to know what you're not supposed to do and what you're supposed to do. But that when you get into, once you pass your test, that these companies will actually kind of show you more hands-on what you do need to know. So it's a lot, and the classes are a lot to process. There's a lot of information to know. Some days it's discouraging and some days it's motivating. So I'm sticking with it. I'm going to work as hard as I can and see if I can make it happen, and give it, you know, a couple of years to see what I can do, and just try really hard to make it happen. It's intimidating for sure, but it's good. So that's an update. Another real estate update. Yes, I'm in the car again. I'm headed out to get some groceries, but I wanted to give an update about yesterday and how my courses have been going. So I have, excuse the minions in the background. That's my little minion back there. I had 110 hours, and then after that it was, so you do 110 hours, and those are the classes, and then you have about 10 more hours, which is of the course exams, and then like a little review. And so I went ahead and did the 110 hours and didn't do the course exams. I started taking the Prep XL, which you definitely should get. It's an add-on if you didn't already purchase it with like the package that you got at the beginning of Stringham's classes. And so definitely get that. It has exams and just practice tests, and it's really, really helpful. And so I started taking those, and I was doing the national portion of the tests, and I was getting, you know, 87% the majority of the time without using the book. So I felt really confident. And then I started taking the Utah law portion of the test, practice tests, and was getting like 50%. And so I started feeling really, hold on. Basically, I'm feeling less confident about the state portion, the Utah state portion of the test, and confident about the national portion of the test. So it basically like lets me know what I really need to study up on. But it's just frustrating because I thought I was doing super good, and I did have this sense of like, okay, what am I missing? And now I know. And so I do need to study up on that. But here's the thing, is that I signed up to take my test, my real test. I signed up to take it October 2nd. It is, today is September 22nd. So when you sign up to take your test, you have to put in there the date that you end your courses, that you finish your 120 hours. And I hadn't done that yet, but I was told to book my test in advance because they're like booked 2 weeks out. And so I went ahead and put that. I finished my course September 22nd, which is today. And so then I looked at my courses last night, and like I said, I've been studying. I like from 1 to 5 every single day. I go in and I do the CAT classes and I study. And so last night at like 6:30, it dawned on me that my exam, the course exams, cannot be taken the same day as the review, which means I have to do my course exams yesterday and then do the review today to make sure that I finish my course with today's date. Does that make sense? I hope it does, because my brain is so fried right now. I can't even think. I've got so much law and information in my brain right now. I'm just so surprised at how much knowledge is needed. I mean, I don't mean to say that offensively. My brain is fried. So
Puppy, Mom. Get puppy.
you dropped your puppy? So anyway, so I was up last night taking my exam courses. So like I said, the national, I was fine. Utah needed some work, but so I take my tests, and the first one was 120 questions. This is the exam course test, and you have to have 75% or higher to pass. And I took it, and it's one of them is 120 questions, and the other one is 60 questions. And so the 120 question one, I failed. Well, I got 67%, and I needed 75% to pass, and I literally had a breakdown. I'm just gonna be real. I completely broke down because I'm trying so hard, and I'm also trying to be a mom, and I've never had to be a mom and take classes or courses or lessons or really have to learn anything. And so you hear him? And so I'm overwhelmed, and I was really confident, and I felt great when I was, you know, passing my tests. And then when that happened, and the fact that I was not passing the state tests, the practice tests, I'm just feeling really, really discouraged. And so then I was also stressed out because at this point I spent 3 hours on that test. I kept double checking my answers and trying to review my answers, and you know, by then it was like 10 o'clock and I didn't pass, and so I knew I needed to retake it, and that was stressful knowing that it took me so long and that I didn't pass. And so I had a breakdown. I took the other exam. I really hope this makes sense. I took the other exam, which was 60 questions, and I had gotten 77% on that. And that one I kind of just breezed through it pretty quickly because I felt like I fairly knew the answers to those questions. And I feel really bummed because I thought I knew more than I do, or maybe I do know, but I'm second guessing myself and answering wrong. I don't know. And so feeling discouraged. But anyway, so then I went ahead and took the 120 questions, and I just breezed through it. I just thought, I'm just gonna get through it. I'm not gonna double check my answers, and I was able to pass that exam like at 11 o'clock last night. So right before, an hour before my time limit, because then today I've got to take the review, and the review you have to take in one day because you're only allowed to take like 7 credits a day. Anyway, long story short, feeling a little discouraged, a lot discouraged. And so now I'm just going to test my little butt off. I've been listening to Prep XL, or not Prep XL, sorry. Again, my brain. I've been listening to Prep Agent on YouTube. I started listening to him at the beginning of my courses, and I felt like he was confusing me. And now that I've gone through the entire classes, I find it very helpful. So definitely check out Prep Agent on YouTube. Very helpful. Except for now, I need to study up on my state laws, and he doesn't do that. So that's kind of hard because I would put Prep Agent on YouTube on my phone and listen to it as I would walk around the house and clean and take care of the kids until it was time for me to go into the office and shut myself out and study. So it was nice to kind of have that extra help. But now I've got to study up a little bit differently. So wish me luck. I really don't want to go in there and fail my test. It's hard. It's been hard. Today is 2 months. 2 months ago today. 2 months ago today is when I started when I started taking the real estate classes. So it's been 2 months, and it's a lot. It's a lot to retain, a lot to do. It's just a lot. So that's an update. So hopefully the next update will be a little bit more positive. Today is test day, and as you can see, I'm super vulnerable right now. I'm so nervous. I know I can retake the test. I know that if I have to, I can retake this test, and that's fine. I have just put so much into studying for this that I just want to be able to pass it. Okay, so I'm here. I am about 20 minutes early to needing to check in. My test doesn't start until 9. I have to check in at 8:30. It's a little bit after 8 right now. Brandon insisted that I come extra early just in case traffic or, accounting for any of the unknown possibilities. And so I'm glad I did, because I brought my books with me, and I'm going to go over everything, especially because there's 2 different buildings here. I am in Lehigh. Sorry, I am so nervous right now. There's one building over here that I don't see a big sign that says what it is yet. So I'm gonna have to walk over there and see. And then there's another one that says Mountainland Technology. But when I parked over there, it looks like it's under construction. Like the inside, it's like a new building and they're still doing the construction. So I don't think that's it. I assume it's over here. I don't want to go in too early. So I'll probably give it 10 or 15 minutes and then I'll walk over there and see if that's the proper building. So if you are taking your real estate license, as far as in Utah, you have to have I put it in a little folder, but you have to have your certificate of your 120 hours. You have to have your ID, a photo ID, so your driver's license, at least that's what I have for me. Another form of ID, it can be a credit card that has your signature on it, but I also brought like my social security card and my birth certificate. I'm just gonna take it all in because I don't want to get in there and have them say I need some other form of ID and that's not accurate. So I am overly prepared as far as what I need. You are not allowed to take anything into the testing center. As far as I'm aware, as far as what I've read, you cannot take anything into the testing center except a calculator. So I'm having to take all my forms of ID and everything into there, and they said that they have lockers in there, but they don't lock. So I am going to ask if I can just bring my stuff back outside, lock it in my car, and go back in with my calculator in hand. So I put a lot into this. When I first started the classes, I was doing the classes in the morning and at night. I would wake up before the kids in the morning and after the kids went to bed. And then I did that for a few weeks, and we were in and out of going in and out of being in and out of town. Wow, that sounded really weird. We were out of town quite often that first month, and so I didn't get as much done as I expected. And then the second month, because I've done this for 2 months, the second month I spent 4 hours every single day, if not more, studying and taking my classes every single day. I had scheduled a time every day with my husband for my husband to be the parent. Sorry, this probably might not come out accurate. I might have to retake this video because I'm so nervous. I feel like I'm rambling. Anyway, regardless, having a set time every single day in the middle of the day that I could shut myself in and off in our room in an office and focus fully on that was the biggest help, because trying to do it at night I was too tired, and in the morning I was like trying to prepare for the rest of the day. So having a set time during the day was big help. So big thanks to my husband for being flexible and taking the role of, kind of taking the role of a stay-at-home dad. He's never had that, and so that was really helpful. Anyway, I'm going to study my vocabulary while I'm waiting for the next, for the next like 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna walk over to this building. Hopefully this is the right building, and if not, then I'm gonna be running around this campus trying to figure out which building is right. So, wish me luck. I'm out. I walked in a little early to find out where I go, and they were able to check me in and let me start my test right away and not have to wait until 9 o'clock. So I started my test at I went in and sat down at the computer at about 8:30, and then they have you do like a 10 or so 15-minute little this is how you take the exam, and then got started on my actual exam. So I was in there for about 3 or more hours. The general national exam had 80 questions, and let me think, what else was I gonna say? The national part it had 80 questions, and I went through the questions, and then I went back through every question. You can mark the questions that you're not entirely sure of, and then it'll show you which ones you marked so that you can double check. And I passed that exam easily. I mean, they don't tell you the score that you get for passing, but I did pass that one. So then the state test. So the state test was separate, a state exam was separate. You take that, and the state exam was separate, and that one was 50 questions. and no, it wasn't. It was 60 questions. I thought it was 50, and I paced myself for 50, and I got to 50, and then the questions kept going, and then I panicked because I definitely wasn't completely up to par on my state laws, I guess. They had a lot of closing disclosures that you had to thoroughly read through to find the answer, and they're pretty tricky. Like, they're trying to trick you. And so I did not pass that one. I missed the state portion. I failed the state portion by 4 points. 4 points. I failed the state portion. And to be honest, I think it's because I didn't have a lot of time. So they give you, I guess it was 60 questions, and you get like an hour and a half. So what, like 2 minutes per question if you try to average it out. Is kind of how I tried to average it out so that I kind of could pace myself. And I didn't think it had enough time. So I went through it as quickly as I could the first time and answered what I thought my initial reaction was, like my initial response was to the questions. I would answer that, and then I marked it for review if I wasn't entirely sure, and then I went back through and checked my marked for review answers, and I actually was surprised at how much I thought I did know for the state portion, but obviously I didn't, because I missed it by 4 points. So unfortunately I have to retake the state portion, but from my understanding, and hopefully I'm right, I'm going to double check this when I get home, but I don't have to take the general national portion. I just have to take the state portion. So I'll be honest, when you get your paper, and I won't show you mine because I don't want you to see all my information, but when you get your paper from when you finish your exam, they give you your paper of your score. They don't tell it to you. You don't find out on it on the computer. They hand you a paper with your score. And when he handed it to me, the overall exam result says fail. And literally I took my paper, walked to the bathroom, and started crying. Because I was like, how could I fail? I know for sure the national one I did well on. Like, I just knew, because I answered them and I double checked and everything was good. Anyway, so then I went to the restroom, I had my little crying moment, and then I went back through the paper. I'm not going to really show you because I don't want you to have my information. And realized that the general exam I passed, and it was the state, and I missed by 4 points. So I can live with that. As much as I don't want to. As much as I don't want to have to come and retake the state portion, I can do that. 4 points, I don't feel too bad about that. So I'm going to study up this weekend, and hopefully I can reschedule the state portion of my exam early next week. So stay tuned. I'm so relieved. I passed my test. I can't believe it. I actually passed. I'm done. I passed. I did it. Oh my gosh, I'm shaking. I'm so happy. Oh my gosh. So I went in to retake the state portion of the test because the last time I took it, I missed it by 4 points. I studied, and everything I studied, I already knew. And I went in and I took the test, and some of the questions were pretty tricky because they make them so similar that, it's a test, so they have to do that, I guess. But man, I was kind of worried at some point, and then the power went out. I was almost done with my test. I had like 7 minutes left, and so I was just reviewing my answers, and the power went out at the testing center, and I was like, please tell me that I did not, please tell me that it saved my work. And it did. And I reviewed my questions, and I truthfully thought that, my answers were accurate. And went out there, got my things, and all of a sudden, the administrator or whatever the guy is at the front said, congratulations. And I was just like, you're sure? Like, you sure that I passed? You sure? Like, did I? And he's like, let me double check. But yeah, like, here's all your forms for your fingerprinting and everything, and you passed. And I just like, I'm so excited. I passed. All my hard work paid off, and I actually passed it. I was really worried. Seriously, through my test, I just kept telling myself, because like I said, some of the questions were kind of borderline, it could be either answer. And, yeah. And so I kind of was just bracing myself for the possibility of failing. again. And so I passed, and I'm so excited. So now I have to figure out where I go to get my fingerprinting done. I have a stack of papers to fill out. I need to meet with the broker that I am choosing, which I think I'm going to go with Berkshire Hathaway. And then I send in all my paperwork, and then I get my license like within 5 to 7 days or something like that. And I'm so excited. All right, a couple of tips that I have. When you are done taking your classes, I recommend going onto YouTube to Prep Agent and listening to everything that he has to offer. When I started listening to him, I started taking my classes and I was honestly just confused. But by the time I was done with my classes and started listening to him, he definitely helped. He simplifies things. All the vocabulary, he simplifies it, and he also gives you some ways to memorize it. So that was a big help. I actually would listen to him while I was doing my household chores or when I was in the car, and just so great. And it's only national stuff though. He doesn't go over your state stuff. So when it came to my state, things I needed to know for the state, I recorded myself saying the vocabulary, and then while I was driving I would listen to myself, and that helps because, you know, especially for a busy mom, there's not a lot of time that I can just sit and listen to it, and it helps to get to listen to it while I'm doing other things. Another tip that I have is to do the math backwards. Sounds a little crazy, but sometimes for me it's easier to plug in the answers and see which one lines up with the original number that's given me. So try that. But otherwise, that's all the tips. And I actually did it, and I can't believe it. I'm so excited. So if you don't pass the first time, don't give up. Keep doing it. And it's really worth it. So we did it.